Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Shalom Aleichem all the way from Baltimore. What's your name again?
Steve Fishel.
Steve?
Fishel.
That's right. That's the name. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Steve Fishel. Shalom Aleichem, Mendy. What's up, sir? We have with us Rabbi Isai, Reb Ari Chaimowitz. Rabbi Ari Chaimowitz came to film the shir, What a Day, 148 days ago. Mashruka's right around 150.
154.
It's 154. How does he know?
Bava Basra.
Bava Basra. As usual, when somebody comes in my Dalaramas, the first thing I do is I ask him about the daf. Poor guy, he hung around me a few hours and I convinced him to do the daf. So he said, okay, I'll try it out that night. And it's 154 days later. And he says, look here, he once sent me a message, look at the screen, you mamish changed my life. Did it?
It did. I have two Adim over here, my two kids.
Where are your two kids? Shemalayim, what's up, sir? One minute, the Tata does. One minute. Did mamish change his life? Emes? In what way?
They don't like
in all ways, he said. He's a better Tata. That can't be, okay? So I want to say, Bemes, listen to this. He came to film, he changed his life. I want to tell you what happened. He doesn't chap, he does chap. He changed hundreds of people's lives. I got numerous, he sends me also emails that he gets. He meets people in the street in Borough Park. He said, you changed my life because of him. 41,000 people watched that thing. It's kedai to watch. It's a masterpiece of editing. Hundreds of people started learning Torah because of that piece. You don't know. He had no clue. He came in the morning. Okay, he's going to take a few videos of this guy that gives a shir. And Lamaisa, hundreds. One of the most impactful things we've ever done in terms of media and marketing. It's unbelievable. One guy. So Yishkoyach Rabbi Ari Chaimowitz Yishkoyach. It doesn't end over there. Be'ez Hashem, Reb Ari is going to be at the Shabbaton, and he's also, because he's a master, mamash a master in editing, he said he wants to do a piece about people and how their lives have changed. So, if you are a person who you think you can be interviewed by Reb Ari, he might fly to different places, you might come to him. If you have a great story, but only a special story, so be in contact with us, send us an email, right over here, and they'll put you in touch with Rari, and Be'ez Hashem will show it at the Shabbaton. You'll get interviewed by the master himself. It's kedai. He knows how to, he relaxes you. It's very therapeutic. If you look at the piece, we were crying during the interview, crying, laughing, we're being serious, everything together. So it's very kedai. I don't know if we have any time to even read emails, but if you have something, please be in touch because we only have 5 weeks left. Do you have that piece in there, Gary? Noch nicht. Okay, I'm waiting. It takes 2 minutes. Aha. Okay. Let me just go real quickly here. This is somebody from, believe it, my name is Yosef Silva. I reside in Sao Paulo, Brazil, where I attend the Beit Synagogue. Look at this beautiful shul over there, beautiful Oren Kodesh. For some time, I've been following Eli Stefansky's Daf Yomi on YouTube without a printed Gemara. I often found it challenging to keep up, relying on various online resources to continue learning. Recently, I enrolled in your program to receive a free article Gemara. I'm delighted to inform you that I received the Bava Basra volume on the 12th of Cheshvan. This has significantly enhanced my study experience, allowing me to engage more deeply with the material. Currently, I just realized something. He probably wrote this in Spanish and did Google Translate to English, and then we Google translated it to Hebrew, so it came out completely combobulated. It was like a double translate. Okay, I got it. What? Well, it was a double. I don't know. Okay. Currently, I'm studying alone with Hashem's help. I hope to inspire others in my community to join me. He doesn't have anybody's community to learn Daf Yomi with. Rabbi Isai, Sim Paulo. His daily rebellion. I've shared this initiative with a few friends who were greatly impressed by the impact of such a study program. Thank you once again for your support and dedication to spreading Torah learning. This gift means more than I can express in words. Warm regards, Yosef Silva. Check this out. This is Gemara with the MDY logo. Beautiful Aron Kodesh over there. Huh? Listen. Okay. So, Rabbi Ben Shushan, in my opinion, gave the best speech last year at the Shabbaton. Many people told me that there was unbelievable speeches, but I liked his the most, so I invited him again to come again. And in this little clip, you'll see the amount of streimels there, the amount of streimels, the amount of achtos. It's a Shabbos of achtos, and Rabbi say, here goes.
Hey everybody, it's Rabbi Ari Ben Shushan, and I am thrilled to tell you the MDY Shabbaton is upon us. We're so excited. The Ruach from last year is what you're seeing now on me. A year later, I'm still pumped from the Ruach, from the inspiration, from the drive, from the energy that all the Yidden bring. All the MDYers, they all come together for this incredible Shabbaton. Whether you're doing the daf, not doing the daf, you will be doing the daf. Once we're done with you this Shabbaton, join me, join us together.
So that background,
as biyachad, we build each other's neshamot. As biyachad, we inspire each other. As biyachad, we become one MDY together for that Shabbat, so that we continue being one MDY around the entire globe. Looking forward to seeing you then.
Chaya. I'm looking forward. Unbelievable. Where did this go in? Threw this in the wrong place. Here we go. Okay. An interesting Maisa. Today we were learning this year Bas Tchila Simin Yafal Abanim. Reminding the story years ago, his uncle Rabbi Yisrael Menachem Kohen Shlita from Flatbush was learning MTJ by Rav Moshe Feinstein, and he had a daughter. His first kid was a daughter, so he went to Rav Moshe Feinstein. Rav Moshe said, Bas Tchila Simin Yafal Abanim, and then he had 7 boys, one after another after that. It took 27 years from the time that Rav Moshe told him that Gemara until finally he had a granddaughter. I just got back from a trip to South Africa and had the zechus of staying by a Rav Leon Welcher. What a big machnes oirech and a huge masmid. Huge masmid. I'm attaching a picture of him. Listen to this, Rabbi Yosef. A picture of him falling asleep listening to Daf Yomi at 2:30 in the morning. Here's the picture. Let me see if I can find it. Leon, I'm sorry, but it's gewaldig. 2:30 in the morning. Falling on the Gemara. I don't know what happened over there. It's geschmack. And then we know that he's up at 7 by us. He's on Zoom every single morning. Every day he sends a picture to Mendy. He says, Mendy, why were you doing this? Why were you looking at...
Why did you do this?
That's not what you told me last time. Rabbi Isai, here we have in Manchester, this Motzei Shabbos, the Olam is getting together for some pizza and chips. Here's our one and only Baruch Foreman. Whatever. How? What did I say? Furman. I'm not going to say last names anymore. It became also since yesterday. The helmet has the MDY on it. Unbelievable. Noch nicht. You saw. What is this? Oh, Josh Brody, Chief Rabbi Boca Raton. I don't know, is he? Rabbi Efrem is the Chief Rabbi, but that's how he said. He signed his name like that. We're going to call him the Chief Rabbi. Just wanted to let you know how proud I am of all the airplay Boca's getting things to you on a personal note after almost 1,000 shiurim. Oh, very interesting. Josh Brody and Rabbi Efrem Goldberg, they interviewed me on their podcast. Behind the Bima. So I look at them and said, how come you don't do the daf, Josh? So he started. I guess that was 1,000 days ago. Another guy that tried to interview, don't try to interview me. The guy from Mishpacha magazine interviewed me. Beautiful article in the Hebrew Mishpacha magazine. You're Inikel. What's his name again? Shlomo Kuberman. He's part of the shir. Don't interview Stefansky. This guy is writing a book about me for Art Scroll. He joined the shir. Just wanted to let you know how proud I am of all the airplay. Thanks to you. On a personal note, after almost 1,000 shiurim, I'm grateful.
That's great.
I'm happy you're laughing.
Classic.
It'll be in the book in one of the things. And then,
The Rebbitzen was right.
I'm grateful for everything you are doing to inspire us all, not only with the daf, but Shnai Mikra and so much more. I had to laugh when you mentioned that Simcha Firestone's friends are all from South Africa, all South Africans. Turns out, I'm also. Yup, Cape Town born and raised. But I was a little shocked that someone in Boca did not know that I was doing the daf with you and realized I need to double down on my efforts to encourage more people to join MDY. You got a lot of people in Baltimore, no?
I do it all over the world.
All over the world.
I travel for Star K, so I sign people up all over.
Travels for Starcade, signs people all over. Givaldic, beautiful. That really motivated me to find the new and creative ways. How your Enkelach in Los Angeles doing?
We'll talk after.
We'll talk after. Special shout out. No,
I signed.
You signed him up?
My wife and
His
I-
son-in-law and
That's my stepson.
your stepson and his wife aren't famous. They were going on their anniversary skiing and they had a terrible accident. She was nifter. 5 Yisayimim. And he spoke to us. So whatever. Okay.
I did it every morning there, so that the kids would come around, and I said to Joe, you got to do it.
He loves it, no?
He loves
Yeah, he's
it. We got
good.
his brother to do it now.
We just keep on going, spreading the Torah. A special shout out to your Talmud and my son-in-law, Jack Manis. See, he started, Josh Brody got his son-in-law, Jack Manis, to do it, and now his son-in-law had a baby son and a grandson, Yakir Ilan and Karmei Gat. Thank you again for everything. Your Talmud since Chagigo Daf, Yutes, Josh Brody, Chief Rabbi of Boca Raton.
That's great.
Otherwise, here's just a picture of Zisha at his own chasana wearing MDY socks. So I'm here to give out a pair of socks. If you did not learn this sugi yet, and you know the answer, you will get this. I only brought one because only one person might get the answer. It's a trick question. I say it's a trick question because the answer is very simple, but I want to trick you to think that it's a trick question. If someone goes to another country, father goes out of the country, and his family at home also receives an Amazon box. They open up the box, and inside is a coat. The coat could fit the daughter-in-law and the daughter. Who gets the coat? Who did he send the coat to? Huh? You say the daughter-in-law. You think I'll give it a pair of socks to just say that? Okay, you say daughter-in-law. Oh, he's not so off. Anybody? What do you say?
Neither. It's still the father's not nifty.
Oh, he's tricky. Nachamol. So they get a box in the mail from the father, and there's a daughter-in-law at home. There's a daughter at home. What about the mother? No mother. We'll give you that. No mother. She's not around. Who gets the coat? Who did he send it to? Huh? Anybody want to take a jab at it? I guess this is not so.
His daughter.
50-50. So you take the coat and you cut it in half. It happens to be that the Gemara actually talks about like parts of a coat. Huh? I know Benny knows the answer. Daughter-in-law. Most people say the daughter-in-law. Okay. So the true answer is that it depends. If the daughter is not married, then she gets the coat. But if the daughter is married, then the daughter-in-law gets the coat. That's why I was confident that I won't have to I could bring this back. Who wants this pair of socks? Does anybody want it? But you guys got like 6 pairs already. Every time. You have 2. So I wasn't off. The Olam says I should give it to the Bacha from Levat Torah. You agree that I should give it to the boy from Levat Torah. He says he wanted a pair and he says I should give it to the boy from Levat Torah. You need it for duchening. That's he's a kohen, so no, the Olam has to paskin. I say him. But it's a good one. Eitan, I'm going to have to get you a pair somehow. I'm going to get you a pair. Be'ezer Hashem. Huh? Which part?
He says that you have to stop the going.
No, because I was choishish that people might look at his feet. There's a whole thing that you're not allowed to wear holes in your socks. So I had to be choishish to that shita that people are going to stare at the socks during duchening, so I didn't want to get into that. That's why. I was also going with the Chavetz Chaim. Go with the Chavetz Chaim, with the Mishnah Berurah. Okay, anyway. Zok Tehele Gemara. Here we are. I have one other question. This is a bomb. Ooh, sponsors, that's right. Before we go to the sponsors, here's a thought. We'll do the sponsor. So you remind me. The Masechta for the safe and speedy return. Wow, it's late. Of all the passages, that's not part of the sponsor. That's part of learning. That's part of the shir. Kidnovations LLC in honor of my uncle Rebbitzen Pressman and Fishel. It turns out that Rebbitzen Pressman is coming to the Shabbaton, and Fishel is coming. It should be a zechus for Akiva Simcha, who is coming. Shidduch for Rivka Yehudit's bas Chaya, she is coming to the Shabbaton. And thank you to Rebbitzen Stefansky, who's probably not coming. For selflessly giving up her husband to the klal. It should be a zechus for a year filled with Mazel, Bracha, hatzlacha, Parnassa B'revach and Refuah. Parnassa Yosef and Chaya, Sara for Parnassa B'revach. Parnassa Tzvi Spero, Refuah Shleimah, Itamar, Efraim ben Chaya, Blima. And Parnassa a week. Refuah Shleimah for Yosef Chaim Shmuel ben Alta Nechama from his grateful family. Shlomo Gwertzman, Lila Nishmas, my mother. Penina Bas Simcha Elchanan Yortzeit. Tamara Weingarten.
Pressman became the grandfather today.
Oh, Pressman, Mazel Tov became a grandfather. And the art of the month for zechus for Rebelli and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. Chaya. And now I think we could learn some Torah. So the question is, real quickly, an almana who's being supported by her son's Yerusha, and she has a very good job, who gets her salary? Again, an almana who's entitled to be supported by the estate, she takes support from there, but she also has a good job, who gets her salary? Anybody? She could say Yefshi, but she doesn't. So the answer is, the Yisayimim get her salary, we shall see. Rabbi, yesterday we learned this little sugi over here. There was a Motzei Shabbos where a father tells his new wife, let's say the day of the chasana, I am giving all my belongings to your children. She's not pregnant, she doesn't have children, so he's talking about something in the future. He has a son from another marriage, the guy on the right, and he comes, he says, what about me? He says, I'll give you together with my future sons. So I had a shaila in the Gemara, does he indeed get a piece right now? Later on you have sons, boom. Does he get his portion as if there was 3 sons and him, so it's 4. He gets a portion, they do not, because they don't exist. So what he meant is, I'll give you a portion right now. I'm giving you a gift. Later on, however many sons there are, you'll divide equally with them. In this case, there's 3 sons plus him. So we're going to take the 3/4 that are left and divide it into how many pieces? 4. Boom. Each guy gets a piece. So now he gets more. Or, no. Perhaps, since he doesn't have brothers, and the father said, I'll give you a piece with your brothers, but they don't exist, and you can't give people that don't exist anything, so he gets 0. Later on, in the Yerusha, we'll talk about it. But right now, he doesn't get a piece. So there's a concept we're going to learn about today, and that's what we're going to discuss a lot. It's called atva, you and a donkey. In other words, if I try to give you something, I say, you and a donkey, you should, here, be kind of this Leon Welcher book, yeah, he's the one that donated this. Be kind of this, you get this, and a donkey gets this. So just a donkey can't get anything. So we have a 3-way machlokes. Maybe no one gets anything, because he's messing with you. So you're like a donkey. A donkey can't be kaina. So you're not kaina. So let's see. So what happened was we had 2 groups. There was an older group of chachamim, and they said the halacha is this. In this case, the guy gets. Where are my things? The bechar gets an extra piece, and then the younger group said no. So the older group said we're older. The halacha is like us. The younger group said the halacha doesn't go by age; it goes by svara. There is, of course, concept in Shas that of previous generation you can argue on. Amoraim don't argue on Tanaim. Rishonim don't argue on Amoraim, etc., etc. Achroinim don't argue on Rishonim. But in that generation, they were alive. Just because you have a white beard and have a black beard doesn't mean that Allah is like you. So now we're holding over there. Why does the younger group say what they say? That what? That the Bechar, the guy with the white hat, doesn't get a special piece because the father said, I'll give you a piece together with my sons. But his sons don't exist. So what he meant is, I'm not giving you anything. What's Pshat? So he tells him, Zilg legabei de Rebbe Oven. Rebbe Oven was part of the older people. And he flipped, like in the house, Baruch Hashem. He flipped. He used to be a shtickle Democrat, and he became a Republican. I explained it to him. But not only did I explain it to him, top of Kufmem Gimel Amud Aleph, he went like this. He said, you're right. Good taina. I'm switching groups now. What? So he went to him. He says, in other words, why should I explain it to you? Go to a guy that flipped. He'll explain it to you very well. He'll tell you why he flipped. Certainly, if I tell somebody, take this piece of land, acquire it like a donkey. So everybody will say, Mikani, there's no way there's a kinyan. Iitmar, kni kachamor loikana. Somebody says, I want you to acquire this like a donkey, loikana. Here, you know what? I'll just show you this video they did. The Olam, you never know. The Olam last night was on the floor from this. It's Americans, I don't know. And then I said a joke, nobody laughed. This is Kni Chamor. Free shipping to Israel. She's in the house. Okay. Ari, your son is looking at me like maybe he's never on Amazon. He was never on Amazon. Got it. Okay. Purchase like a donkey doesn't work. What about you together with the donkey? You could make a kinyan. Donkey can't. What did I mean? So that's the whole sugya today. If I mix two things in together, something that's also something that's mutter, something that works, something that does it work or not? Rav Nachman Omar Kona Mechza. So let me just show you a really simple chart, typical chart. Ad v'chamor, we have three shitas. Red means it doesn't work. It's a red light. Green means it works. Everything works. And blue is parav. So these are the three shitas. We have Rav Nachman Omar Kona Mechza. It's parav. He gets half. If I give an entire house to a donkey and a human being, the human being gets 50% of the house. Since the donkey can't be koina anything, so Rav Amnuna says the human being is also now. Why? The guy giving wants it all to work. It's all or nothing. Yeah? There's no gray area. It's black or white. If it works, great. Not, zero. It works to the point. Look, the human being could acquire it, so Mameli is koina everything. Or how do I know that he acquires everything? I forgot to set this up. Where's my knife? I don't have it. Where's my, is there a melon over here? No. Did somebody put a melon in the kitchen? Where's my melon? What a chaval. No melon? They took it home? Yeah, somebody go into the kitchen, please. Who has the key? Hello, but it's locked. Hold on, I forgot to set this up. Chaval. Okay, fine. You'll understand the sugi without the melon. Who took the, what? Look around. There's a bag. Look over here. There's a bag with a melon inside. It was here. Did somebody come in chakras and move it around? And I need a knife. Okay. Yishkoyach. No, nobody sees anything? Somebody from chakra. Somebody? No? Hold on. Maybe I put it over here. No, I wanted to put it there and I forgot. You don't see it over there? What? Manyan. Okay, they'll put it from the Hebrew. Who's doing the editing today? Yosef, you're doing the editing? So in Hebrew, we'll send it to you. Okay, so basically, you have a melon. I showed it, I cut it. You open it up. The center of the melon is full of seeds, and they're not edible. So we're talking about truma now. The Gemara understands you cannot take truma from bad on good. The seeds are disgusting. I never had them. I'm assuming they don't taste very good. Person has a pile of 50 melons. You should take about 1 melon for every 50. So he takes a whole melon. He says, this is truma. The problem is that part of the melon is not good. And you didn't say only the good part of the melon should be truma on the good parts of the other melon. You said this melon should be truma on all the melons. So that includes the peel, the inside, the pits, everything else. How could the pits, which are chamar, they're not good for truma? You cannot. If I took a pile of pits and said this is truma on this pile of melons, I have 5 pounds of pits on all these melons. It doesn't work. The Gemara understands it doesn't work. The answer is it does work. The Gemara's kasha is it doesn't work. So if it doesn't work, now you just mixed in 2 items. Delicious sweet melon with terrible pits, and you took all this together and you said, oh, this should be truma for this giant pile. But you have a mixture of bad and good. Bad and good, according to Rav Amnuna, doesn't work at all. 0. And according to Rav Nachman, it works on half. So you're going to have to deduct all the pits from that melon, and now it's going to come out that you didn't give enough truma on the 49 melons because you thought that the whole melon is truma. In fact, 25% of it is pits. And so you don't have enough product here to give truma on the rest, according to Rav Nachman. According to Rav Huna, it doesn't work at all.
You have to worry about the pits and everything, the other 49. It's still good. Although 49.
I know, but you're right. But once you mix a bad and a good, it doesn't work at all. You might have enough product. First of all, you don't know how many pits. But according to Rav Nuni, you understand? It doesn't work at all. 0. Not even 1 melon is going to have truma. Why? Because you mixed in a bad thing.
It's a berry. The whole item. It's a berry.
You're mixing in now hilchas. How do you get that so fast? I already explained it, Doivek. Now you understand. Yeah, I said, if you don't know. Okay, we could go by. It's just, it doesn't work. It works live. Right, okay, let's go. Shkoyach. How'd you get that so fast? Very nice. Omar Rav Sheshes Munamin Elisani Rabbi Yossi Yomer. Yeah, 6 lines from the top. The inner part of a kishus, some call it a melon, a type of a melon. The pits, they are very mar, they're bitter. Therefore, what you should do is take another sweet part of a melon and add it to this 1 melon. According to Rav Nuna, you're combining bad and good, and it shouldn't work at all. It's not true. If you take really bad grapes and use them as truma on good grapes, it works. Ra'al toiv works. The Amar below we had this. How do you know that it works? You shouldn't. The Torah says, don't do an aveira by taking the bad. In other words, it works. If it didn't work, it's not an aveira. If I go like this, and it's not truma, I didn't do an aveira. It's an aveira when it is truma and it's bad stuff. So you see, the bad stuff works. Just don't do it. If there's no kedusha, so where's the aveira? From here we see the idea that using the pits for good melon does work. It works, just don't do it. So Mamela, no shaila from no cash over there. You ask me, it's Ravatov. It's at v'chamor. It's not at v'chamor. It's at v'at. It's good truma. There's no chamor over there. There's no product that doesn't work. It works, just not the right thing to do. The Mordechai tells Rav Ashi, interesting lashon. I want to tell you that Rav Avi asked a question, which is important to know for later on, because he's going to say, "Oh, I dreamt that Rav Avi asked a question." This guy, I want to vote him as the most unromantic chassan in the world. He has 5 women in front of him, and rather than going to the store to buy 5 rings for each woman, he goes into their backyard, picks their fruit off the tree. Very good. I was mamish about to say that. Gewaldig. He picks their fruit off the tree. And why was he allowed to give it to them? Because it was Shemitah. In other words, he didn't spend a dime. And not only that, he kind of took their fruit, but he's allowed to. And then rather than telling them, even we have a picture here, even he doesn't even say Hareat Mukudeshesli, Hareat Mukudeshesli, Hareat Mukudeshesli. He just says one statement for all 5. The worst guy ever. Here we go. Oops, sorry. What? No, that was supposed to be covered. What?
I thought that's the guy.
That's a chashuv guy. That's very Haley. I'll show you. Look at this. He gives the whole basket of figs to one woman. Now, from those 5 women, this I don't know what to call him. Stingy chassan. There's 2 of the women are sisters. Now we know you're not allowed to marry sisters. It's this week's parasha also. We had the B'nai Light this week's parasha. Yeah, B'nai Light. If every time we mention light, we have to say this Maisa that only this is like a Hasidic Maisa, but in a Litvish Sefer, so only Litvaks believe it. Hasidim don't. But Rav Moshe Feinstein said that a Rav came to him and said that he spoke not nicely about the daughters of light in a speech in public, and said, "How dare they do something like this?" Da da da. And that night they came to him in a dream and said the opposite. What?
The way they were dressed was very tznius.
They were very tznius, and they said, "We didn't want a new type of religion." Huh? Yeah. His tongue was swollen. He told Rav Moshe that they told him in a dream, "You spoke terribly about us because we were Mechamel Shem Shamayim. We don't want people to think that we got impregnated by whatever. We told the world how it happened. Maya, from the Father. And therefore, you will die," they told him. And in fact, he finished telling Rav Moshe this thing, and like the next day or something, his tongue swelled and he choked to death and he died. This is in Igros Moshe, so I usually don't repeat stories like that, but Rav Moshe Feinstein himself says it. It's a famous Maisa. But anyway, you're not allowed to marry sisters. MMA those 2 sisters, we'll call them the chamar of this case, since the kedushin doesn't apply to them. It can't apply to them. It could only apply to the other 3. So what happens when I give kedushin to a donkey and a woman? Either according to Rav Nachman, it's 0, or according to you found the melon. Found the melon. I was in the fridge probably. Yeah, we're doing it inside now. It's halfway down the Amud like. 5 women, 2 sisters, and this very whatever chassan, he picked a whole basket of figs. The Gemara just says, I don't know why the Gemara has to tell us. It was their figs. That's why they became his figs. I can't even imagine this. Taking something from a kala. Hey, I picked this from your garden. Here, shkoyach. The kibla, huh?
Flowers from the garbage.
Flowers from the garbage. I didn't want to go there again. Yeah. The kibla achas me'em aydei kulon, and one of the women accepted the basket for all of them. It does not work for the 2 on the right. But the 3 on the left, Baruch Hashem, they got the best chassan ever. Asked the Gemara, but he did a terrible kiddushin. He involved 2 sisters. Omar lei, hainu de chazoi, Rav Huna bar Avia Bechelma. This is exactly what Rav Huna saw in his dream. The Motzei Rav Avia to Yufta. He saw this, that Rav Avia asked the question in his dream. Real quickly, there's a Rav by the name of Rav Irli. No, Rav Arieli. I just got confused because I saw Robert. Seriously, Rav Arieli.
You gave me slicha to make it.
Enayim leMishpat. He wrote a sefer. One day he comes to shul with a tikkun. So they said, "You're a litvak. What do you bring tikkun to the shul?" He said, "I had a dream that the Akiva Eger told me that the teretz I said on his kasha is a good teretz. I'm making a simcha." So I guess one of the people there, like a let, says, so that means all the other tirutzim you said on Akiva Eger are not real. So he said it could be, but even for one teretz in the Akiva Eger, that's worthy of a big simcha. So lav mi yoikimna. The Omar over there in the Kiddushin, you all remember Kiddushin, we learned it just recently. The Omar Roya Mikem Lebiyah Diskadishli. He didn't say Arayat Mukudashis or Haray Kulcha Mukudashis. That wasn't the Lashon he used. He said, whoever's Roy for me to be a wife, that's who it is. These two sisters are not Roy to be a wife. Why? Because one of them is a sister of the other, and he can't marry either of them. We don't know which one is what. So therefore, it was a good Lashon for Kiddushin. He said, whoever's Roy. And he meant the three on the left, not the two on the right. Now we have a brand new sugya, Rabbi Yisrael. It's a very, very interesting question. We had this also, but we probably didn't pay attention. Sometimes when a person says, I want to give you and you, you divide it differently than what you hear. Yeah? Sometimes you say, I want to give Rebbe Akiva and his friends. How do we divide it? 50 to Rebbe Akiva, 50 to all the friends. If it's 100 people, they have to divide the other 50%. Where do we see this in the Torah? Aaron, Ubanov. Aaron gets 50, sons get 50. So that's halacha, 50-50. Person tells his wife, I want to give you and your sons. So what did he mean? There's 4 sons and her. So do you divide it 20-20-20? Or you divide it 50, and the 50 that's left, you divide it into quarters. Omar Rav Yosef, Chonso Mechza. So this is the famous Rav Yosef, the halacha is like him. We had it in this Masechta, the halacha is Rav Yosef, especially in Bava Basra, maybe in all of Shas. Lemechza. This is the story of Mechza. The what? She gets 50%, and the sons have to divide the rest. How do I know this is Hani Rabbi Yomer? Voice Lovanov. By the lechem aponim. How many lechem aponims were there? I don't know why. I think I said 6 and 6, and somebody said the Rishbam says 5 and 5. Okay, here 5. Yeah, he does say 12. Chomish. I don't know. Okay, whatever. Aaron gets half. The sons get half. He gets the 6 or the 5, and the sons get the other part. I said it last time we learned it in Bava Basra. I said the story. We'll say it again. There was a guy by the name of Tia Bar Shalom. He was a guy. He had a battle with the king to save the Jews, and he beat the king. So the king said, "You won, but the problem is if you beat the king, I have to kill you." So he took him to die. On his way out to being killed, somebody said, "What about the taxes you have to pay?" He understood that it means, "What about the bris milah? I need a bris." So he jumped on a stone and he gave himself a bris milah as he was about to get killed. And then he said, all my belongings, and he's very, very wealthy, all my belongings to Rebbe Akiva and his friends. So Rebbe Akiva said, what he meant is, I get half and my friends get the other half. And Bacha Rebbe, the famous Bacha Rebbe, Yesh koinoi lomoy b'shah achas. A person can do one unbelievable thing in 1 second. His whole life he was a Rasha, but in 1 second you get olam haba like the biggest tzaddik. It's possible. And he cried. So Zok the Gemara, it reminded me of Rabbi Sachem Fram, but we don't have time for this. His famous book, his famous saying that he said at the Siyam Shas, it's never too little, it's never too much, and it's never too late, something like that. That when it comes to the daven, he brought stories of Moshe Feinstein doing a Siyam Shas over 200 times, and the son said, why are you making Siyam Shas? He says, this is the second time of 200, something like that. And then you have the story where the guy only learned one daf in his entire life, and then Moshe went to the Siyum because it took him a long time. He went to the Siyum, and then he was nifter. So Yesh Konei Lam Shachas. He did one daf, poof. Zok the Gemara. Aaron bar Chaluku. Very good. It's not a good raya. He's saying. What do you bring me raya from Aaron? Aaron could divide with the rest of the sons. The reason why the Torah says Aaron, the Torah should have said the Kohanim divide all the lechem upon him. Why is he Aaron? To tell you, Aaron is different than everybody else. He gets half. But the reason why he says my wife should inherit together with the sons, not to say that she's better than them, to say that she's even in the parasha, because typically speaking, a woman doesn't get anything. Be happy that she gets something, not that she gets more than everybody. Not a good right. No, Rav Yosef is right. There was mamash and mice like that. The guy said, my wife and my son should get, or her son should get, and he divided 50-50. The wife got a huge part. And the same thing happened in Tveria. I would make Kalila. So one pshat is the king said, I want people to buy me a new crown. Another pshat is, much like we're having now in America, this is an inauguration party. The king came in, there's a whole party, not the crown. It means the hachtara, the party for the crowning of the king. Who's going to pay for it? The Shadda Debei Malka, Abule Visteruge. The Sarim, how do you say Sarim? The ministers and the Istruge. The Abule, the ministers Vistruge. I don't know if anybody says this, but over here it looks like it's a lashon of strategist, like Istruge. The what?
Achos is wealthy. Wealthy gave half and no.
The Abule are wealthier, and the Strugi, maybe the Strugi are his people, like this. Those are the Sarim. Okay. Omar Rebbe. So what do you do? Nitvu abule palga v'struge palga. The wealthy don't pay more. Rebbe says that Aaron gets more and the kids get less. Over here, it's 50-50 exactly, even though the wealthier could afford more. So says Gemara, whenever they had to pay for this crown, the wealthy, the abuli, the wealthiers, they would pay for everything. This true, they would help out a little bit. The other malko, hashta, abuli is struge. So Mela, the Kokazvi abuli is struge. That the king, in this case, he knew that the strugi don't really pitch in. So that's why, in this case specifically, he said, you got to step it up and pay your fair share, pay a half. A person says, I want to bring a giant mincha. So he brings the 100 in, and he says, I want to bring 100 isarin in 2 vessels. Maybe shishim b'kli echad, v'arbaim b'kli echad. Bring 60, 40. Now the most you can fit into a kli, check this out, is 60. This is the famous concept of kol haroy lebi la, ein bila makeves. You can fit 60 in a kli, so you don't have to mix it up. If you put 61 in a kli, which you can't really fit in to mix it up, because once you start mixing it, it's going to fall to the sides, then it's possible. As long as you could mix it, then it's kosher, even though you don't mix it. That's the concept of kol haroy. You don't have to mix it. You have to be able to mix it. I'll upon him. The guy says, I want 100. So you divide it, 60-40. That's the best way to do it. Maybe shishim kli echad, v'arbaim b'kli echad. Now, according to Rabbi Yosef, you should have done what? 50-50. You divide it 50-50. A guy says, my wife and my children. So you give, or her children, you give 50 and 50. Maybe chamishim kli echad, b'chamishim kli echad, yotza. The Gemara says over here, Kupim Gimel and Beis, it's not the best thing in the world. 50-50. Better 60-40. No. Hold on, let me just say this. What if you did this? No good. So the Gemara says, why not? Why, according to Rabbi Yosef, 50-50? It's excellent. According to Rabbi Yosef, whenever a guy says something like this, you do 50-50, 50-50 should be perfect. So Gemara says, no, this is different than a 50-50 case. He really wanted to do something like this. He wanted to bring a massive carbon, walk into the Beis Hamikdash, show everybody, look what I'm bringing out Kodesh Baruch Hu, the best of the best, a huge carbon. So why did he add this extra, the wording that I want to bring in two kelim? Because halachically, this is also. No, we're not holding there yet. What are you doing? Leave it alone. Leave it. Oh, it's happening by itself. Okay. So the other so Mela, he wants to bring the largest carbon possible. What's the largest carbon possible? 60. So you tell him to bring 60. 50 is not the largest, and therefore don't bring 50-50. Typically speaking, yes, we do divide it 50-50. Not in this case. So, sponsored by the Berkovici family, the zechus klal Yisrael, and by Glenn Esterson, dedicated to Gilad Jacob Israel. Thank you for bringing the daf into my life, Baruch Hashem. So the Gemara, so real quickly, here's the Gemara. Let me just show you this real quickly. You remember this? Reuven has a field on the right side. Shimon has a field, brothers. He has on the left side. The father had a field in the middle. So they're going to get half of that field. Either the portion number 1 or portion number 2. Says Reuven, I would like to have portion number 1. It's next to my field. Says Shimon, no, I think portion number 1 is a better piece. Whatever he says. So Rabbi says, if we go back to this, Rabbi says, you remember? It's in our Gemara, in our Masechta. Shimon is wrong. Why would he make a big deal? Rabbi says, no, he's not wrong. Maybe it has more Mazel, I don't know what. And therefore, Reuven does not get field number 1. The hatzlacha is like Rav Yosef. Next.
Why does bar mitzvah not work?
There's no bar mitzvah on gifts. And on Yerusha. Iitmar Kinyan. Remember this? When I'm doing chalipin, up until what point does it work? I'll show you this video, this little thing, and you'll chab in a second. Rabbi Yosef says, here, remember this? He takes a handkerchief. First he blows his nose with it. Then he uses it as a handkerchief. And then the clock starts ticking. He could still have charata until they're still in that inyan. Asukim ba'isa inyan. Says Gemara, so that's inyan. Sada, inyan. Umechza is our sugya 50-50. Ahud Shada Piska, the Shiroi Lebesi. This is the question I asked you before. He sends the Amazon box, some sort of coat in a box. If it's a coat for boys, ski coat for men, they get it. If it's for women, let's like kalasa. It's only because he doesn't have a daughter-in-law. Then it goes to the daughter-in-law. But if he has daughters that are not married, why does a person want to give a gift to his daughter-in-law? Because he wants to be mechaber his son. But if he has a daughter who's not married, he wants to take care of his daughter before he takes care of his daughter-in-law. There's a guy sitting on his bed, dying. Here's the case. He says, I want to give my nechasim to my sons. In fact, he only has one son, and he has a daughter. So, is a son and a daughter? Or he's talking in the Lashon Kavod? I don't know what he was talking. What happens? Bro brato. He had a son and a daughter. Does a person typically call one son many sons? Does he use the Lashon Rabbin when he refers to his son? Well, the Salukya, it says in parentheses here, interesting thing. If he only meant his son, so why would he say, I want to give my nechazim to my son? Automatically, the Torah says that the son gets the Yerusha, not the daughter. Perhaps he said son, to mean it goes to my son, to exclude his daughter, that she doesn't even get the 10% that typically a daughter gets when a father dies. That's explanation, maybe not part of the Gemara. Maybe what he meant is, I want to give my nechasim to my son and my daughter equally. And he's trying to give her a gift. And the sons, plural, of Dan are chushim, 1. So you see that you could call sons chushim. The famous Chaim Shmulevitz, Chushim came and he says, Avi Abba muto bebezayin. Yaakov Avinu sitting here. What's going on? Why? How come there's no levaya? How come they're not burying? They say, oh, because Yosef is making a whole command of Verai. He took a thing and chopped off his head. As Chaim Shmulevitz, how come no one else did it? There's a lot of people standing there. So says Chaim Shmulevitz, and I think you're all going to relate to this. Remember after October 7th, everybody's doing tshuva, they're putting on tzitzis. Everybody went to the right. Bibi is the best thing in the world. You're not going to say a word. There's not a single protest. Nobody's going to say a word. All of a sudden, one Mishugana, 2 people, I don't know how many, made a protest in front of this. And the media spoke about it. Oh, it's terrible. How can they do this? A week later, 5 people showed up to the protest. And then it became 20, and then 100, and today it's every day, and it's not a problem. It's normal. You remember what I'm talking about? There's a matzah where, no, we're in the middle of a war. Now you can take what I'm not getting into politics, call him this, that, come testify over here. But it's in the middle of a war. No. The idea is that sometimes you do something wrong, and all of a sudden it becomes a hergel. It mamish becomes part of you. You don't even realize that once you get into that discussion, the Shvatim started getting into discussion. Yes, no. Then all of a sudden it becomes to a point where people all around the world could stand up and scream, Hamas is right. Terrorism is great. They killed babies. They're right. They're freedom fighters. It becomes like, in the beginning, like, what are you crazy? No, but a few people did it. Then it's normal. You can take the worst thing, even woke, anything you want, where it was illegal to talk about it in America, illegal. They became, okay, became this normal. And now it's not only legal, but it's a chiyuv to put certain bathrooms in Target. Sugar. That's the point. The point is, don't get into the discussion. When he wasn't in the discussion, he had no idea what was going on, so he's pure. This is usher. Why is Yaakov Avinu not here? Chop his head off. The other Shvatim, they got into that discussion. Once you get in, 5 minutes later, you become chilled out, and it's almost okay to leave Yaakov Avinu like that. Zok the Gemara, Omer Abai. Sorry. Who told you the chushim means the name of a son? It's like a bunch of reeds. I have a better possible. Ubnei falu Eliyav. Also, uvnei, plural, it's one, Eliyav. Ubnei Eson Azariah. I saw in a sefer that this is a pasuk from Divrei Yamim. And he says, beautiful. He says that there's a taisvis in the Darim Daf Nun Hey that says that Divrei Yamim is Lishne B'nei Adam. A lot of times the Gemara says, why do you have to bring more psukim? The answer is because the pasuk from the Torah is the best rai in the world. But that's not listening to Bnei Adam. That's not how people talk. I want to say, how does a human being talk? Does a person say, I want to give my sons when he's referring to one? Yes, because Divrei Yamim is listening to Bnei Adam. Anyway, similar story here. We're just going to switch the person out. He has a grandson on the right and he has a son on the left. Now what did he mean? He had a grandson and a son. Does a person refer to his grandson as a son? I want to give my nechasim to my grandson. Yes, he meant to give half of his $20 million to his grandson. It doesn't happen like that. We see exactly what Mar Bar Ravashi says. If a person says, I don't want to have anything to do with my sons, he did not mean his grandson. So Mela, when a person says, I want to give my Yerusha to my sons, he did not mean his grandson. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. A good Shabbos. Motzei Shabbos at 8:30. Exactly.